Bienvenue pour
Welcome
l'interview
to the interview for the film LETO, directed by Kirill Serebrennikov. Sadly, the director cannot be with us today to talk about his film. He is under house arrest in Russia. So sadly, we will not be able to talk to him about the film. So that's a real drama here in Cannes, but it's a different way of talking about the film. So we are going to be talking with the crew. So thank you to the three actors who are with us. We've got Irina Starshenbaum, who's the lead female role in the film. Thank you for being here. She plays the role of Natasha. We have RomaZver, who is a Russian rock star right now in Russia. He heads the group Zveri, and this is the first time he's acting in a film. And we also have with us Theo Yu, a young actor who grew up in Germany, who trained in acting in the States and in England, and who now works in Korea. So thank you very much, all three of you. Please speak into the mic. Could you tell me if you've got any news from Kirill since the screening yesterday? Have you had him on the phone, for example?
Roma, with the...
Нет, мы не обсуждали, но связь у нас есть.
Avec lui, mais on est en contact avec Kirill.
Ah oui, vous n'avez pas pu
We haven't been able to talk to him on the phone.
Вам не удалось, да, с ним поговорить после показа?
Нет, после показа
après la projection, on n'a pas pu
since the screening, we have not spoken to him.
Vous avez échangé depuis la sélection du film à
And
Cannes.
have you spoken to him since the film was selected for Cannes? What did he think about the fact that his film was selected for Cannes?
Irina.
Should I speak English or not? It's
Yes,
okay?
you can. If you want to speak English, you can speak English, of course.
I think that the only reason to speak something for Kirill is his film. That's all. And he's the man who speaks with his art.
C'est une
And
personne
he
qui parle à travers son art.
He doesn't need some political reasons and so on.
Il parle à travers son art.
Eh bien, justement, parlons de son art.
Let's
parlons,
talk about his art.
de ce film.
Let's talk about his
Pour vous,
film.
C'était une première fois, RomaZver.
This was a first time for you, Roma. What does that epoch, that day in Russia mean to you today? It was represented by Mike and Victor. What does that period in Russian history mean to you today?
Ну, дело в том, что когда вот Майк и Цой ушли из жизни, мне было как раз лет 12-13, я начал увлекаться
Mike Zoe died, I was very young, but I was just starting to become interested in music. So I listened to them once they were dead, in fact.
Эти личности являются
For Russian
основателями рок-культуры в нашей стране.
These are founding characters of rock culture in our country. Let's take a look at some images at the end of the screening. These are exclusive images from TV Festival. Have a look at the screen there. You can see how the audience reacted to the film. And there you are, you're having huge rounds of applause. Were you thinking of Kirill at that particular moment in time? Irina and Theo, for example. Theo. Were you thinking of Kirill?
Yeah, that moment was really overwhelming because
Ce moment était vraiment,
I had a lot of mixed feelings. It's because of him and his belief in me that I can be here at this stage. But at the same time, it's sad that he cannot be here with us. Yeah, so it's overwhelming. It's
extrêmement émouvant.
It's a mixed bag of feelings.
Des sentiments très partagés.
Comment s'est passée votre rencontre avec Kirill Serebrennikov?
So what was it like when you met Kirill Serebrennikov, Theo?
Ce chanteur, ce musicien
Were
qui était
you
Victor
familiar
Tsoi,
with
ce
Victor
musicien
Tsoi's music?
Comment vous avez parlé? Comment vous avez
Well, how
échangé
did you talk about it? What was your conversation? How did you prepare the role?
Yeah, I knew about Victor Tsoi
Oui, je connaissais Victor Tsoi
before.
avant.
When I was younger, I was
j'étais
researching
jeune, je faisais des
historical figures that are from like Korean descent, like me, that I could maybe play in the
Je
future.
cherchais des icônes
But
comme ça que je pourrais éventuellement interpréter plus tard.
I couldn't even conceive of the idea that I
Mais
could be able to play him. But then I got the casting call and the audition, and that first day at the audition, I remember telling him, because Viktor Tsoi for the Russian people and also in Korea is such a symbol for change and free speech. But I've seen a younger Viktor, one who is more melancholic and more poetic in his essence, and I feel like I could relate to that. And I think Kirill had the same interpretation as I did, so we were on the same page.
Irina, ça signifie encore quelque chose
Irina,
pour vous, qui êtes
does that
jeune,
period in time
comédienne de
mean
nouvelle
anything to you?
génération?
You're
Cette époque,
you're
Victor
younger than that
Tsoi,
day. Victor
cette
Tsoi, is it a
époque de
name
la
that you're
perestroïka,
familiar
est-ce qu'elle
with?
résonne encore aujourd'hui
Does
dans la
that
Russie d'aujourd'hui,
name
notamment
still
ce besoin de
mean
liberté,
anything in
de
Russia with
musique,
that
de culture?
need for culture and music?
You know, at first I was born with it. So my parents were listening Russian rock. My father were listening Zoopark rock group, and so Viktor Tsoi is such a huge figure in musical. Just he's the most of the greatest like musicians in Russia of those years, and for us it's like with the blood of our mother. You know, we just was born with it. We hear the music from house to house. Everybody was listening it, and of course I know it, and it's my childhood. I just like something near me. Yeah, so of course I felt it. Yeah.
Vous avez participé à la
You
recréation
participated
de cette musique
in
entendue
the
ici,
recreation
Mike
of this
Comment
music.
ça s'est
As a
passé? Vous avez fait des
musician,
recherches,
Roma,
sur les
did
instruments
you
d'époque?
have to do any research into the instruments of that time?
Пытались повторить музыку, инструменты того времени. Как вы над этим работали, над музыкой?
Было достаточно сложно.
C'était assez compliqué en fait.
It was quite tricky.
On ne voulait pas répéter complètement
We
le
didn't
même
simply
son.
want to create exactly the same
Mais
sound.
aussi à la fois,
создать
on ne
современный
pouvait
звук. Мы
pas le
делали
moderniser
что-то
trop.
между.
But we
Но
couldn't
quelque
really
chose entre les deux.
modernize it too
Конечно,
much, so we
играли
tried to
на
find
тех
something in
инструментах,
between
Même quasiment les
the
mêmes
two
instruments. On a,
things.
Количество
So we
струн,
played
fait,
the same
guitare,
instruments.
les cordes.
We repaired
Но
old
дело в том, что играли группа из
guitars,
Зоопарка,
we
и
put new
Цой
strings
тогда
on
не
them.
очень
Mais
хорошо.
Zoopark et
Там,
Tsoi
ну,
à l'époque jouaient bof quoi. C'était
But,
pas encore trop.
Нам нужно было
ça,
сделать
quoi.
что-то
the way they
среднее между
played
Quelque chose
wasn't
entre les deux,
too
entre-
technical, so we had to be quite
Et
versatile in our
Le
approach.
style actuel, oui, effectivement, pour pouvoir le transmettre aujourd'hui. Victor Tsoi a été
Victor
comédien, Théo
was
Liu.
an
Est-ce que vous
actor,
comment vous êtes
Théo.
inspiré pour l'incarner
So how did
physiquement?
you
Vous avez
take inspiration from him? Did you watch him acting on screen? Did you find some
Comment vous avez
footage?
travaillé ce rôle?
How did you prepare for the role?
Okay, I could answer this question in a very romantic way and in a very realistic way. So the romantic way would be,
Both.
I guess, because of my background, I was born and raised in Germany in a predominantly Caucasian environment, as did Victor. And with that kind of sensibility comes a certain type of emotion that I believe is very unique for like a Eurasian mix. And I could relate to that because I write poetry and I'm a hobby musician. And so that's the romantic side of me. The realistic part, I only had 3 weeks, you know, so I had to devour everything that I could get in those 3 weeks. And, you know, like the Russian population is over 140 million. So there are over 140 million subjective versions, personal versions of what they think Victor is to them. So there was a really big responsibility, and that's not even counting the former Soviet states, you know. So it was a big responsibility, and I just tried to get as accurate and as close as possible. I don't know if we succeeded, but yeah, it was a tough job.
J'imagine, mais bravo. Mais oui, Irina est,
Well done.
est d'accord. Irina, le film va sortir
Irina, the
en
film
Russie.
is going to be
Est-ce que les
released
Russes
in
vont le
Russia.
voir? Est-ce que
Will
le
the
film est
Russians
très
go
attendu
and
en
watch
Russie?
it? Are they looking forward to seeing this film in Russia?
You know, it's a question of mentality, actually. Of course, they are waiting, but you know, he's like a father and king of Russian rock. So nobody doesn't want to see something like they. they just want to see the Victor as they think about him, as he love, you know?
Ouais,
Yeah,
je vois tout à
and
fait.
it's such a difficult question, really. Yeah, but I hope that the film is so romantic. It's full of freedom, full of love. It's black and white, and I think it's something very special for Russian movie, for Russian cinema and industry. And I hope that they will feel it. Okay.
Ah, j'imagine qu'ils vont le ressentir. Il y a
I'm
une forme
sure
de
they will
pression
feel it.
pour
Are you
Roma,
under
en
any
tant que
pressure,
artiste,
Roma, as
justement,
an
à
artist?
faire renaître cette
Are you
époque,
under
ces icônes
pressure
de l'époque?
to
Vous avez un
portray
peu
that
peur,
period
vous avez
in
un peu de
time?
pression
Were you
avant de présenter
slightly
ce film
anxious
au public russe?
about this before screening to the Russian public?
Абсолютно никак.
Aucune pression.
No pressure
Мне всё
whatsoever.
равно, если честно.
Je m'en fous, très
I
honnêtement.
couldn't give a
C'est
hoot.
vrai?
Публика,
Ouais, c'est le-
rockstar.
Ouais, je suis une star du rock, moi.
I'm just a star.
Donc
It's fine.
effectivement, une star du rock peut
A
incarner
rock
d'autres
star.
stars
Yes, a
du
rock star
sans
acting
problème.
the role
Comment
of
s'est
a
passé
rock
le
star.
tournage?
So what was it like
Comment-
on the
comment
shoot?
travaille Kirill
How does
Serebrennikov
Kirill
avec, vous? Est-ce qu'il a
Sebrennikov
pris du
work
temps
with his
avec
actors?
chacun
Does he
d'entre
take
vous?
time with
Comment
each
c'est passé? Parce qu'il y a une
individual?
telle énergie dans ce
There seems to
film.
be so much energy in
Il y
the
a une
film.
telle, vitalité.
There's such
Comment,
vitality
comment vous avez,
How did you
comment vous
manage
avez
to
travaillé les uns
generate
les autres
that?
avec, votre réalisateur?
working with your director.
Irina.
You know, he just wanted that we could spend some time together. He wanted that
Oui.
we just could feel each other, touch each other. We should be like a real friends, you know, and we should see it through the camera. So he asked us to spend more time together and to make this summer like very special and very funny for us. So I just felt myself like I'm a teenager. Yeah, and I'm fall in love with this time. Yeah, and I will remember it forever. So just love. That's all. That's all.
La vie, l'amour. Vous n'êtes pas encore très loin
Life
d'être une
and
teenager,
love.
Irina.
Yes,
En tout cas,
you
c'est un vrai
are
plaisir
very much like
de
a
vous accueillir,
teenager. We're
ici,
delighted
Irina,
to
Starshenbaum,
have you here
RomaZver
in our
et
studio.
également,
Thank you
Théo.
all three,
Nous,
Roma,
merci à
Irina
tous les
and
trois.
Théo.
Merci
Thank you
beaucoup,
for coming
Roma,
into the
d'être
studio.
venu avec nous. C'est un plaisir, un honneur
It's a delight
de
and
vous
an honor
recevoir.
to have you here in the
LETO,
studio.
donc, on
Your
va
film
continuer
is
à en parler,
called
bien sûr, sans le
LETO,
réalisateur,
which
Kirill
means
Serebrennikov.
summer.
On va continuer
Kirill
en tout cas à
Serebrennikov
parler
is not
de
with
lui
us,
et de
sadly.
son
We will
film en
continue to talk
conférence de
about
presse
him and
dans
his film
quelques
in a
minutes.
press
À
conference
tout à l'heure.
very, very shortly.